witnessed at Hostomel Airport on the outskirts of Kyiv. A 640-ton steel giant lies quietly in the ruins. Its spine is broken into 3 sections, its nose smashed into the ground, like a prehistoric bird felled by a hunter's rifle. Birth of a dream. In 1985, at the height of the Cold War, the Soviet space program was locked in fierce competition with the United States. The Buran space shuttle had been successfully developed, but a practical problem emerged: how to transport this 36-meter-long, 105-ton behemoth from the manufacturing plant to the Baikonur Cosmodrome, 2,000 kilometers away. Soviet engineers proposed an unprecedented solution: build an aircraft capable of carrying the space shuttle on its back. The Antonov Design Bureau took on this seemingly impossible task. Chief designer Viktor Tolmachev led the team in designing a super transport aircraft. "We need an aircraft that can carry a dream," Tolmachev said at the project kickoff meeting. On December 21, 1988, at a flight test base outside Kyiv, thousands of engineers, technicians, and military representatives watched, holding their breath. On the runway, an unimaginable giant began to roll its wingspan longer than a soccer field, the roar of its 6 engines making the ground tremble. Chief test pilot Alexander Galanenko gripped the controls. After a takeoff roll of less than a kilometer, the 640-ton steel bird lifted gracefully into the air. The maiden flight was a success. Thunderous applause erupted, and many in the crowd were moved to tears. Coronation of a king. The An-225 MRIA Dream set multiple world records. Its maximum takeoff weight of 640 tons was more than double that of a Boeing 747. Its cargo hold volume of 1,300 cubic meters could hold 80 cars. Its wingspan of 88.4 meters remains the longest in the world to this day. But its most astonishing design feature was its ability to carry the Buran space shuttle. In May 1989, the An-225 achieved its crowning moment, performing a demonstration flight with the Buran space shuttle on its back. When this airborne leviathan flew over the Paris Air Show, spectators on the ground were stunned. A French aviation journalist wrote, "The Soviets didn't just build an aircraft, they built a flying monument." The An-225 represented the pinnacle of human aeronautical engineering, a product of Cold War technological rivalry. Years of silence. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, the Buran program was abruptly halted. The An-225 lost its reason for existence. After completing its first piggyback flight, the world's only An-225 was stored in a hangar at Hostomel Airport, where it sat idle for 7 years. Its second airframe, a sister ship, was only 70% complete and shelved indefinitely. Inside the hangar, the once glorious dream gradually gathered dust. The maintenance team shrank from dozens to a few, eventually leaving just one senior engineer to perform periodic checks. "I came every week, started the auxiliary power unit, checked the systems," recalled the engineer. "Ivan, I believed she would fly again one day." Commercial rebirth. In 2001, the global air cargo market was booming, with surging demand for outsized cargo transportation. Antonov Airlines made a bold decision: bring the An-225 back to life. The refurbishment took a year and cost $20 million. All 6 engines were overhauled, the avionics were completely upgraded, and the cargo doors were reinforced for commercial operations. On May 7, 2002, the An-225 returned to the skies. This time, its mission was not to serve a national space program, but commercial transport. In the years that followed, the An-225 became the only option for transporting the world's largest cargo. It carried a 128-ton generator from Germany to Armenia, transported 109 tons of oil pipeline equipment to Azerbaijan, and even once flew 4 main battle tanks across the Atlantic. During the pandemic, the An-225 made multiple flights carrying medical supplies, transporting millions of masks and ventilators from China to European nations. When no other aircraft can do the job, the world calls the An-225, said Captain Dmytro, the final fate. In February 2022, the Russo-Ukrainian war began. Hostomel Airport was among the first targets attacked. On the morning of February 24th, the An-225 was undergoing engine maintenance, preparing for a scheduled cargo mission. At 5:30 a.m., the first barrage of missiles struck the runway. At 7:20 a.m., a second assault scored a direct hit on the hangar housing the An-225. Fire engulfed the world's largest aircraft. 2 days later, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba confirmed on Twitter, the world's largest aircraft, the An-225 MRIA, was destroyed. Will we ever rebuild our dream? It will take time and immense cost, but we must win this war first. Photos from the scene showed the An-225's rear fuselage completely severed, its cockpit partially collapsed, its wings burned. The dream that once soared through the skies was now a pile of twisted metal. Legacy and future. The destruction of the An-225 prompted global mourning in the aviation community. The International Air Transport Association called it a tremendous loss to humanity's aviation heritage. A more practical question arose. What happens to the oversized cargo that relied on the An-225? A Boeing 747-8F has a maximum payload of just 134 tons, less than half of the An-225's capacity. Many energy and aerospace projects now face logistical bottlenecks. The Ukrainian government announced plans to rebuild the An-225, estimating a cost of around $500 million and a time frame of at least 5 years. But aviation experts question its feasibility. Many parts are long out of production, and specialized technical knowledge has been lost. A more fundamental question remains. In an era of drones and distributed logistics, do we still need such an airborne giant? Perhaps the An-225's true value has transcended its practical utility. It has become a symbol of humanity's courage to push engineering limits, and of the potential for cross-border cooperation in times of peace. Today, beside the ruins at Hostomel Airport, a temporary monument bears the inscription, "Here lies the dream." Not far away, the 70% complete airframe of the second An-225 still rests quietly in its factory workshop. Its fate is uncertain, much like humanity's aspiration for the skies, forever suspended between reality and dream. The story of the An-225 is a condensed modern history, a product of Cold War rivalry, a tool of the globalization era, ultimately becoming a casualty of geopolitical conflict. When we look up at the sky and no longer see that giant bird carrying a space shuttle on its back, we have lost not just an aircraft, but the dream and possibility of an era. A dream does not die, said a former chief designer at Antonov. It merely waits for its next moment to fly.